Okay, so the old fork's out, and now I want to recover the crown race, which is just slipped onto it here. Like I say, I'm going to try and reuse that because I really don't want to be buying a new headset. Now they are a press fit, and you can buy a special tool to do this, or you can do what I'm doing here and just gently tap it off. Voila, one crown race to be reused. Okay, so before I install the crown race onto the new fork, what I want to do is get a measurement of the steerer length from the old fork. So as a clever man said, measure twice, cut once. Okay, so I've just roughly marked that because what I need now is a cutting guide. So this is where my old stem comes in. Now you can buy a proper tool for this job, but they're 20 quid or so, and to be fair, how often am I going to change a fork? Not that often is the simple answer. So what you want is you just want something that's going to keep your saw blade straight as you cut this steerer with a hacksaw. He says, struggling for the wrong size Allen key. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take myself right up to the top of that cut mark there. So there we go, and I'm just going to bolt this old stem on. Looks like quite a nice stem actually, but it's one of my wife's summer bike which she just couldn't get on with, and it's never going to be used again. So there we are. So now I've got something to bear the saw blade against as I cut, and also I think the benefit of doing this is I've got something I can put into the vise to hold this, which, you know, saves me trying to grip this tube in the vise. Okay, so this is the moment of no return. This is why you want to get a nice clean cut on this. Now, with a hacksaw, slowly let it do the work. And keep it flush against that stem. Would help if I tightened that vise down, wouldn't it? And I'm hardly putting any pressure on the saw at all here. One cut steerer. Now I'm just quickly going to whip this out and deburr it with a file. So I'm just going to put a nice chamfer on the top of the fork. And that's all you're aiming for here, is just a bit of a chamfer, and to make sure it's deburred. So, just going to take a round file and deburr inside, because that is where our start nut is going. So, steerer is cut. Okay, so star nut's going in now, and see the beauty of using an old stem. And again, I stress it's got to be one you don't care about, because I can lock it in a vise and use this to hold the entire assembly whilst I work on it. Now, as I said, I've got this 18mm 1/2 inch drive socket, which is just a perfect fit inside the head there. So I've started the star knot off just with a soft face mallet, so I'm just beginning to get it driven in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to centre it. Now your star nut needs to go into a depth of about 15mm, so I've marked that with tape on here. Just going to use the bolt to drive it down a little bit. Just want to get it started below the lip of the steerer. Get this engaged, yes. Okay, yep. There you go. That's lovely and square, and it's that socket that won't move in the tube that kept it square. Top job. Okay, so the last job before we start putting everything back on the bike is to put the crown race onto your new fork. So I've just got it here, and again, there is a specific tool for this job, but there's also a different way of doing it. So just slip it over there. Now you can buy a special tool that's essentially just a heavy pipe that you use to smack it down. I'm going to use a piece of poly pipe, a mallet, some brute force and some ignorance. So as you can see, that poly pipe just fits nicely over it. It's not going to do any damage to the crown race because that's steel and this is poly pipe. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a big hammer and knock it down. Bigger hammer. Hell yeah. Okay, are we down? We are. Success. Okay, so I'm not going to go over the process of putting the fork back onto the bike because, seriously, that's dead easy. That's just grease and clean your headset caps, reassemble the parts onto the fork that you took off the old one, and bolt it all back together, and that's pretty uninteresting. But I thought the more interesting parts of these were the things like cutting the steerer and getting that star nut in there without any special tools. because like I say, they're crazy. You can spend 20 quid on a tool that you're only going to use once, or you can just improvise, and that's made a pretty good job of it. So I hope you enjoyed this one. There will be a few more of these technical ones coming up. Yeah, thanks for watching this one. If you liked, please subscribe to the channel. And it's not just maintenance, as you've probably seen, there's a load of other stuff I'm covering as well. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.